umetukuka milele. Amina. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, ufalme wako wadumu milele. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, umetukuka milele. Amina. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, ufalme wako wadumu milele. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, umetukuka milele. Amina. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, ufalme wako wadumu milele. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, umetukuka milele. Amina. Lift your voice and sing, wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, ufalme wako wadumu milele. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, umetukuka milele. Sema wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, ufalme wako wadumu milele. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, Yesu umetukuka milele. Amina. Katoka juu mbinguni kaja huku duniani, kamwaga damu Kalvari ili nipate kombolewa. Na nimeokoka, nimeoshwa dhambi, nimekuwa huru, ninakusifu milele na milele na milele. Wewe ni Bwana ufalme wako wadumu milele. Wewe ni Bwana juu ya mabwana, Yesu umetukuka, hakuna kama wewe.
Indeed, amongst the gods, who is like our God? He is glorious in holiness. He is fearful in praises. He is doing wonders. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be with you today. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Muyiwa Olarewaju Sholomoritijogola. Yeah, that long name, known as Muyiwa. I am the host of TPI on your TV screens and had the opportunity to also work with a radio station in the UK and make some music. But you know, the moment we're all in now is a moment where there's so many questions. I know 3 people who, with copious amounts of money, most of us would think money would answer our problems. Huge amounts of money. 2 of them millionaires who have no access to their money because of COVID and everything else that's happened. Political structures have been tossed to and fro, and our hearts are broken. Some of our hearts are afraid. Where is the hope? Where do we turn to? There's a young brother who I know very well, and you know him too, and you say, I know him, Muyiwa. Yes, you do. I'll tell you why. He's a son of a bishop, and for many years he was married. 16 years, actually, he was married, and the marriage disintegrated. He was also part of a great musical group, wrote many great songs, and his divorce went into a horrible place when there was battle over the children. For 3 years, they battled over their children as to whether they would go with him or with her. And his heart was broken. He would cry at night at the disappointments that he felt for having a broken home, at the pain that he felt he was causing his children, at the desire that he had to be with his then wife because he didn't want to get divorced. But it all seemed out of whack. He could not control it. And he would cry at night and he would wonder why. And you know, out of that moment, he began to write these words. You, Lord, you are worthy. No one can worship you for me. For all you have done for me, he says, here's my worship, all of my worship. His name is Phil Thompson, and you sing his songs but don't know where that song came from. So here's my point to you, that even in the middle of your pain, even the darkness that you feel, God is still there and able to make something beautiful out of it. But what's the challenge you and I have? The challenge is, what do we do in between the painful place and the promise? You've heard preachers galore. You can preach the message backwards to yourself. They have told you it's around the corner, and you've sat there and thought, how big is my corner? Because it seems everybody else is getting it and their corner doesn't seem so big. But take this as an encouragement to you. The words of the psalmist, Psalm 27 from verse 11. And I'm going to read to you the New Living Translation version. It says, teach me how to live, O Lord. Lead me along the right path, for my enemies are waiting for me. Do not let me fall into their hands, for they accuse me of things I've never done. And every breath they threaten violence. Yet I'm confident I would see the goodness of the Lord while I'm here in the land of the living. Then the writer says this, wait patiently for the Lord. Be of great courage. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Those are the last words my father spoke to me as a 9-year-old when I was leaving Nigeria. I'd grown up in a nice family, a stable middle-class family. And he gave me those words. I didn't realize what turmoil I was going back to in London because my life was turned upside down. I never saw my father again after that moment. I was 9. The last time I saw him was that moment. I even tried to see him before he was buried, and it didn't work. And so I became like many of us who the cost of living crisis is troubling us. The political upheaval is troubling us. COVID-19 has wiped out our economy. And we be like the psalmist. And these are the words that he said, the psalmist, when he was upset in Psalm 73. And I want to share those with you and ask you whether you can identify with those words, because for many of us, we are like that fella, David, saying these words. And especially we look on Instagram and we see Sister Susie, and her life just looks marvelous. We look at Brother John's timeline, and he seems to be having everything good, but you don't know what's going on. And this is what you say to yourself. You say, like the psalmist, no doubt about it, God is good to the people who are good-hearted. But I nearly missed it. I nearly missed the goodness of God, because I was looking the other way, looking at people at the top, looking at the wicked who have made it and who have nothing to worry about, no care in the world, pretentious with arrogance. They wear the latest fashion. You see them on Instagram, don't you? There's violence on their mouth. They jeer and they say, is there a God? And I am heartbroken. That's from Psalm 73. I read you the Message version. So I'm saying to you, if you have in the last how many days scrolled through your timeline in Facebook and thought, why is my life so, or you've gone to Twitter and you've seen and you thought, why is my life so? Let me tell you, we all have a struggle that we're dealing with. The only difference is, who do you trust in? And the psalmist says, be brave, be courageous, wait patiently for God. And you might wonder, why on earth should I listen to this black guy? They say he's from London. He's wearing this funny jacket with all flowers on it and wearing glasses that's bigger than his face. Why should I listen to him? Let me tell you why. Because God is not only faithful, I can tell you my story about that. On the 23rd of June, 2014, at 9:30 in the morning, I got this text. It says this: hi, Atom. That's my nickname from when I was younger. That's another story I could tell you some other time. And if you want to know the story, follow me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whichever one. He says, hi, Atom. Hope you're well. I just want to say, since we spoke last week, I've had this constant image of you receiving an award. It's in the form of an official recognition from the Queen's office. Please do pray over it or take it to your leadership council. I just know I had to pass it on because it was just bugging me. Blessings, Vince. That text came from a brother who I hadn't seen in easily 7 years, 8 years. But his mind was overwhelmed by a message and a vision he kept seeing of me getting an award for the work I'd done from Her Majesty the Queen. Can I tell you the honest truth? I'm like you. You know, you hear a preacher say, though I'm not a preacher, mind you, your preachers are much better at navigating the word and they'll tell you, get ready, get ready, get ready. I'm just a TV presenter who does radio and leads worship. Well, I'm a musician who happens to do radio and TV. Let's get it right. So you might listen to me and think, yeah, whatever, I don't know. And I was like that. I read the message from this guy and I thought, let me channel my Nigerian. I said, these people have come again now. He's sending me text. You leave me alone, Joe. Honestly, that's what I thought. But he had a word from God that he had to give. And I dare to believe that for you, this moment is a word from God to encourage you, not to lose hope, not to lose heart. Now, almost 6 years to the date. Remember, 23rd of June 2014 at 9:32 in the morning. How do I know? I kept the text. I didn't keep it because I thought, the word of prophecy, I'll try it and I'll put it on the shelf. I just scrolled along. But fortunately, I didn't delete it. 6 years, almost to the day he sent this text, I get a letter through my door at the office. It's from Downing Street, the Prime Minister's office back then. I read it and I start reading it. I read the first couple of paragraphs and I thought, is this thing saying what it said? I sent it to my wife. I sent it to my wife. We call her Sister Lola. Hi, Sister Lola, I'm on TV. I sent it to her and I said, babe, is this thing saying what I think it's saying? She called me back. She says, Muyi, what's wrong with you? I said, what's the problem? She said, the letter says you're not to tell anyone. And you're wondering, what on earth? I said, well, you're not anyone, you're my wife. It says in the letter, not even your family. I said, well, they're not going to come and split up my family. You're my wife, you sleep in my bed, me and you are one. And so she reads the rest of the letter to me. And the rest of the letter is exactly what this gentleman had said almost 6 years to the date. Here is my question for you. What has God said to you that you've heard? Maybe not through a prophet, maybe not through a pastor, but you've been reading the word and you have a hope in your heart. And between then and now seems to be a world apart. Everything has fallen apart. You trained to be an accountant, now you're driving a cab. You trained to be a doctor, now you're looking after someone's children. You trained to be a TV presenter, and now you're driving a bus. And it looks as though it's hopeless. And it looks as though time is running out. Let me tell you from my experience, I wasn't waiting for it. I didn't believe it, honestly, if I be honest with you. But God was faithful to his word. And I want to tell you, Kenya or Uganda, Tanzania, wherever you're watching this, God is faithful to his word. So I'm going to leave you with these words from Proverbs chapter 3. Trust in the Lord. This version is the Amplified version. Proverbs chapter 3. Trust in the Lord. Rely confidently on the Lord with all your heart. Do not rely on your own insights and understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge and recognize him. He will make your path straight and smooth over every blockage. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and reverence him in awe, and he will turn away every evil. So, what was the story Muyiwa was telling, and why does it matter to you? Well, this brother said on the 23rd of June 2014 at 9:32 in the morning, he saw me receiving an award. It's an official form from the Queen's office. There was nothing in my time, in my now, that showed that that was possible. I did gospel music. That's all I did. 6 years, almost to the date, I get a letter from Her Majesty the Queen saying they wanted to honor me in an honor they had never given anyone since then and never given anyone after. Google it. Type gospel musician UK OBE. There's only one name that's going to come up. And the one name comes up just to tell you that God is faithful and he's trustworthy. So my brother, my sister, wait on the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Wait on the Lord. He has said it. He will do it. Your heart is broken. He will heal it. God is on your side. Do not be afraid. My name is Muyiwa. You can catch me on TPI, the TV show. We've got much more I can share with you on that show. Or go online at tpizone.com and the opportunity to chat more with you. And if you've heard what I've said and you want to talk more, hit me up on social media. There's so much more we can share with you at TPI Zone. We want to connect with you. We want to bring hope into your family again, because our God is a God who is the one that will fill you with hope. No politician will. The uncle you were waiting for to send you money, he's failed again. No surprise, it's just human. God will never fail you. God bless you.
Haijawa rahisi kufika hapa, ni mkono umenibeba, haijawa rahisi kufika hapa, ni mkono wa Mungu. Umenibeba, haijawa rahisi kufika hapa, ni mkono wa Mungu. Umenibeba